How's it going, everyone? Today we are going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install these Titan chain low profile twist link snow tire chains on our 2021 Kia K5. These will be installed on the tire size 205/65 R16. Make sure you check the fit guide at etrailer.com to get the right fit for your tires. Also, we have them on the front axle as per the owner's manual of this vehicle. Always a great idea just to double check to make sure you're getting them on the right axle for your vehicle. But let's take a closer look at these chains and how they work. The chains have a ladder pattern design, which means they go straight across our tire parallel to one another. It's going to be really helpful for starting and stopping. Typically you feel that a lot more than your diamond pattern chains, but because we do have these twist links and the low profile design, it's definitely not going to be that bad, and it will be helping with starting and stopping. I did mention the twist links, which basically just means that the links intersect with one another and they twist into one another, which should help prevent clumping, especially when you're using it with snow. You get a decent amount of traction, so they can be used on some light ice as well, but again, just a lower profile than those traditional square links. They are going to be made of a low carbon steel, so they're not going to be super durable. They'll be fine for your average use, but they might not hold up quite as many seasons as an alloy sort of chain would. Because they are low profile, they do meet Class S compatibility standards, which we do need for this vehicle. We do have very limited wheel well clearance, so that Class S compatibility just makes sure that we don't have any sort of interference with our wheel well or the suspension or the struts on the back side of the tire. As far as the chain's fit goes on this tire size, we do have a little bit of variability to work with, and we can change the tension a little bit with that hook, but we do recommend picking up one of these rubber tensioners as well, just to help really nail down that initial fitment and make everything snug on the tire. The chains do come two to a set in this hard protective plastic case here. I actually really like the case that these come in. On the inside, you can see how they separate the chains on one on either side, and they buckle up to make everything nice and secure. And it's got this handle on top, so it just makes carrying it a little bit easier. It's very compact as well, so I wouldn't actually recommend maybe upgrading to anything else, because I think this is going to get the job done. But as far as the install process goes for these chains, it's not too terribly difficult. Just this limited clearance underneath makes that initial connection a little bit difficult, or you could choose to drive onto the chains, which can also be kind of a pain. In any case, we definitely recommend trying it out in your garage or somewhere safe beforehand, before you're stranded on the side of the road trying to figure it out. But if you need help, we'll walk you through that process right now. First thing I like to do is just lay the chains out flat. I want to make sure that nothing is caught up or twisted or tangled. I want to make sure that that lever over there is going to be on the side facing us, and then I want to make sure the chains are facing the right way. To do that, I just use this hoop at the end of each set of links. Basically, I want to make sure that we have this flat side making contact with the tread of our tire, rather than having these hooks where they connect rubbing up against the tread. So if we have it the way that we have it facing right now, we're good to go. From here, it's a good time, if you haven't already, just make sure your chains are centered up. And now I'm going to grab where they intersect here in the back and just slowly drape them over our tire, doing my best not to scratch up the wheel well, and then trying to even things out front to back and side to side, just because that will make our life easier when we go to make our first connection on the back side. I can't actually fit under the underside of the car, so I'm going from the front of the tire, but all we need to do is fit this hook here into one of these loose links on the other side. So it seems like we have a good amount of slack. I'm going to try to go for this third link here, but we can come back and adjust that if we need to based on our front connection. On the front, we'll see why we needed that lever arm facing us earlier. So essentially what we're going to do is fit the top part through one of the loose links on this side again, pull that down, and then we're going to lever this arm backwards and fit it into one of the loose links on the other side. That lever is going to help get that initial fit pretty okay on our chains, but it's the only thing that we have tensioning them, so we do recommend picking up one of these rubber tensioners as well, just to make sure that we get that initial fit down really snug. Just like with this hook here, we want to make sure that these are facing hook side out, so we don't want that rubbing on the tread. But we're going to install them top to bottom and left to right, similar to how you would get a tire on or off. Again, just as you start bumping along, your chains will tend to shift. Not only will this help get that initial fit a little bit more tight, but will also keep tension on your chains as you're moving along. With that tensioner in place, we get a much better fit on the chains, so make sure you repeat this process on your driver's side tire as well, and then roll forward or backwards about the full length of your vehicle just to make sure that everything stays in place and that it's secure, and then you're ready to hit the road. Overall, if you're looking for kind of an in-between chain style, maybe you live in an area that does get a decent amount of moderate snow and light ice pretty frequently, these are going to be a great option for you. You do get that bite with that twist link design without having to go super high profile and getting that bumpiness, or maybe running into some issues with your wheel well or clearance, because they do again meet that Class S compatibility standard. That being said, if you want something that might be just a little bit easier to install, you could check out something like the P-WAG servo option. They're also going to get you a little bit more coverage on your tire. You just don't have to get around and make that connection on the back or roll on to the chains. Either way you go, I do think that if you want a little bit more traction without that super high profile design, these Titan Chain Twist Link Snow tire chains are going to be a great option. We just took a look at how they fit and how to install them on our 2021 Kia K5.